in a hollow, the bottom of a sandy creek, surrounded by giant cottonwoods. This is very familiar. I grew up on the Powder River in Montana, and I spent hours and days wandering that sandy river bottom, hunting for treasures, playing in the sand. So, look at that massive thing. These cottonwoods are ancient. They probably saw the first white men come into this country. And they're still here. I think they're looking at me. What do you think, big guy? Yeah, if I was a tree hugger, I'd hug it. Of course, one of them tried to kill me once. It's a tree climber's dream. I mean, if you can get up, you get up into the top, you can go anywhere in that thing. And I did, until one day I didn't. And I dropped about 20 feet. And then laid on the ground there for about 5 minutes trying to remember how to breathe. I was here. Oh, God. History lesson. In March 1874, the U.S. government authorized the establishment of a military camp at the Red Cloud Indian Agency on the White River, home of some 13,000 Indians, many of whom were hostile. The agency was one of the most troublesome spots on the plains. The camp was named Camp Robinson in honor of Lieutenant Levi H. Robinson, who had been killed by the Indians the previous month. In May, the camp was relocated on this site, and in January 1878 was officially designated Fort Robinson. Fort Robinson played an important role in the Indian Wars from 1876 to 1890. Crazy Horse surrendered here May 6, 1877, and was mortally wounded that September while resisting imprisonment. In January 1879, the fort was the scene of a major battle as a result of the Cheyenne outbreak led by Chief Dullknife. In the 20th century, Fort Robinson became the world's largest military remount depot, and during the Second World War was the site of a K-9 Corps and German prisoner of war camp. The fort's deactivation following the war marked the end of more than 70 years of service as Nebraska's outpost on the plains. A few little facts by those that write history. I'm sure there's history that wasn't recorded. Here's an interesting observation I'm just making right out here. I'm going to pan you around. But the Indians, now they were hostile, some of them, but a lot of them just hung around the fort because they wanted to trade. They could get merchandise and goods. But they didn't camp up here on this hot flat. They stayed down by the stream underneath the giant cottonwoods. They knew where the best places were. Post Playhouse. We had culture here.
In 600 feet, turn right.
Black soldiers of the 9th and 10th Cavalry Regiments, called Buffalo Soldiers by the Plains Indians, garrisoned Fort Robinson for 18 years and played an important role in northwestern Nebraska's history. In 1885, the 9th Cavalry arrived at Fort Robinson. The black troopers helped build the new post during the fort's 1887 expansion and were the first cavalrymen sent to the Pine Ridge Reservation during the Ghost Dance troubles of 1890. Lieutenant John Alexander, the second African-American graduate of West Point, and Henry Plummer, the first black chaplain in the regular army, served here. So did 10 Buffalo Soldier Medal of Honor men. How about that? In 1902, the men of the Fighting 10th Cavalry veterans of the Battle of San Juan Hill made their headquarters here. 4 years later, the 10th helped capture Ute Indians who had fled their Utah reservation, the last military action against Indians on the northern plains. In 1907, the regiment left for duty in the Philippines. this arid, wide open country. We still got outcroppings, timbered ridges where the grass plains drops down into the river bottoms. What a foreign environment they must have found themselves in, but obviously they embraced it and are memorialized right here on a placard. So there's a story that's probably worth looking at. All the things that make for legends. But I'm gonna go. I've got about 250 miles, maybe. We'll see. I have intention, not plan. Let's see, honey. I do got my hat on. This is Nebraska, and Nebraska's hard hat country. I'm gonna hang on here a minute. I'm gonna recheck my route. I think we're going south. I looked at the big picture, temperature, cold front bubble, and I think we can get down to the North Platte. If we hang out there for the evening and check it again tomorrow, we might be able to go further east or further south. I've got to go south and I got to go east, and you can't go southeast, so we got to go south and then you go east. All right, change of intentions. You know I'd never make plans. I found a fella. I'd like you to meet Dave. Say, Dave.
Hey, what's up?
He was up at the gas station on that KLR. He'd just come down from his place up on the ridge, and he's got a little in post. That's his outpost. This is his in post, where he keeps his Softail. And he said, you know, there's a better way down to the Platte. I'll just show you. Because he was out looking for a little ride. You know, bikers get together, they start chatting. You know what I mean? You want to introduce yourself a little?
I'm Dave. I actually live in Crawford. Bought a house up here about 3 years ago in town. Ended up buying 40 acres and barns and shops and everything else out there. So we sold her house in Loveland, Colorado. She moved up here, and we sold my house in town, and so we both live up on the butte right now. So. But yeah, it's
awesome.
An awesome day. Beautiful day out.
Beautiful day, and we're just gonna go discover a little bit of the back roads of Nebraska.
Right, yeah.
Local knowledge, can't beat it.
Doesn't look like a lot of rain coming in today, which is pretty typical. I ditched the ranch life for a ride today, so got 80 cattle up on the ranch right now. So
Cool.
So the wife's taking care of those and the rest of the wild domestic livestock. So, but anyway, yeah.
Well,
so,
appreciate it, Dave.
Yeah. But,
He offered, and who am I to refuse? A nice ride with some local knowledge. So let's go.
Yeah, so it should be a good ride, and it's good meeting Colin here. And we'll get going. We'll get on the road.
Let's do it. of the necessary element.
Right. Yeah.
Clear gas, ethanol free.
Right.
When I feed old Slimbo here ethanol, he hates me for it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Cough, sputter,
Right.
tip, tip, tip.
You know, that northwestern panhandle.
Well, I didn't know that Nebraska had a forest.
Right. Right. Exactly. Most people don't.
They were beautiful coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, trying to navigate this. I got a park permit, but I don't think I've got a campsite yet. And my phone's about to die.
And you're looking for probably just a non-electricity, I'm guessing.
Well, I
Or do you
wouldn't
need
mind having
electricity?
electricity, but
Okay.
what's more important is 2 trees, 20 foot apart.
Yeah, find some shade.
I got a hammock.
Oh,
So let's go back here and see if I can get I know I got that. I'm good till noon. I can drive around all day, but I can't camp. Well,
The best long-term interest.
where else I could go at this point?
Nebraska Parks, Lake McConaughey. This is Aiden. How can I help you?
Hi, Aiden. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am sitting down here with the camp host at Lake Ogallala East. And I would like to make a reservation so they could let me have one of their empty campsites.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear
I
me?
can't hear you.
Hello? Don't hang up.
So I'm dialing, maybe they'll pick up on me.
It was not on mute. I'm quite sure.
We're headed to Sturgeon.
No. I am meandering. I started in Arkansas and ended up back in Arkansas at some point.